Greetings and what's up, Star Wars fam? Today we're diving deep into one of my favorite expanded universe novels, Alan Dean Foster's The Approaching Storm. This book is a prequel to Attack of the Clones, setting the stage for the Clone Wars and offering some incredible insights into the characters we know and love. But here's the thing, this book also lays the groundwork for some seriously impactful relationships and events that ripple throughout the Clone Wars and beyond. And as a massive fan of Luminara and Julian, particularly Barriss Sophie, I love how their dynamic in this book, predominantly Barriss's interactions with Anakin, subvertedly foreshadows that epic duel in the Clone Wars animated series, and ultimately plays a role in Ahsoka Tano's fate. Okay, first things first, let's talk about Luminara and Barriss. In The Approaching Storm, we see them as Master and Padawan, working together on a mission to the planet of Ancion. I personally find their dynamic fascinating. Luminara, the calm and collected Jedi Master, embodies the traditional Jedi ideals. Barriss, thoughtful, patient, and idealistically observant, mirrors the traits of her master while utilizing her own traits in observing the Obi-Wan-Anakin dynamic. Enter Anakin Skywalker. Now remember, this is before he's a Jedi Knight, before the Clone Wars have hardened him, and before he's taken on Ahsoka as his Padawan. He's still that impulsive, rebellious Padawan we see in Attack of the Clones, and his interactions with Barriss are electric. They clash, they challenge each other, and there's a definite sense of friction between them, but there's also a grudging respect, a recognition of each other's strength and potential. Foster does a brilliant job of highlighting their similarities. Both Anakin and Barriss are powerful in the Force. While Anakin struggles with the Code's restrictions, Barriss questions his headstrong nature and defiance in the presence of his master, sowing the seeds for a gradual disillusionment of her own. This connection, this understanding is crucial because it sets the stage for their confrontation later in the Clone Wars. Fast forward to the Clone Wars episode, The Wrong Jedi. Barriss, disillusioned thoroughly with the Jedi Order and manipulated by outside forces, bombs the Jedi Temple and frames Ahsoka for the crime. This leads to a heartbreaking duel between Anakin and Barriss, a clash that's fueled by their past interactions, their shared struggles, and their diverging paths. What is important to note, particularly from my perspective, is Barriss's growing effectiveness within the Force while she fights for what she feels is right. We only see her bend, then finally break when she starts to doubt herself. The parallels along this entire arc have gone largely unnoticed for years. Think about it. Anakin sees a reflection of himself in Barriss, a Jedi who has succumbed to the darkness he constantly battles within himself. This duel isn't just about capturing a suspect, it's about confronting his own fears, his own potential for falling, and the fact that he's forced to fight someone who reminds him so much of what he had wanted himself to be in the past adds another layer of tragedy to the situation. Now, where does Ahsoka fit into all of this? Well, Ahsoka is Anakin's Padawan, and she deeply admires Barriss. She sees Barriss as a skilled and independent Jedi, someone she can relate to. So when Barriss turns against the Order, it shatters Ahsoka's trust and faith in the Jedi. This, coupled with the Jedi Council's unjust treatment of her during the trial, ultimately leads to Ahsoka leaving the Order. In a way, Barriss's fall becomes a catalyst for Ahsoka's own disillusionment. It forces Ahsoka to question the Jedi's ideals, their methods, and their place in the war. And while Anakin desperately tries to convince her to stay, the damage is done. The seeds of doubt planted by Barriss's actions, coupled with the Council's betrayal, have taken root. So there you have it. The Approaching Storm may seem like a simple prequel novel, but it subtly lays the groundwork for some of the most impactful events and relationships in the Clone Wars. It highlights the parallels between Anakin and Barriss, foreshadowing their tragic duel, and ultimately contributes to Ahsoka's decision to leave the Jedi Order. It's a testament to Alan Dean Foster's skill as a writer to sow the initial stages of what then turned the galaxy on end, threading the narrative enough to be catapulted by collaborative ideals and ultimately creating a story that resonates with fans years later. And for those of us who adore Luminara and Barriss, it's a must-read that adds depth and complexity to their dynamic. Thanks for joining me on this dive into The Approaching Storm. Let me know in the comments what you think about this book and its connections to the Clone Wars. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Star Wars content.